Picture for just a second a bustling, chaotic street market in the middle of a massive city. I mean, the air is just thick with 100 different voices shouting over one another, horns are blaring in the background, vibrant colors are just flashing past your eyes left and right. It's a total sensory overload, right? Well, take a deep breath. What if I told you that this chaotic market isn't just a physical place out in the world, but it's actually a pretty exact reflection of the endless, chaotic noise going on inside our own minds? Welcome to our explainer today. We're going to be diving deep into the profound wisdom of Eckhart Tolle's The Power of Now, unpacking the source material to figure out exactly how we can find some perfect silence amidst all that mental chaos.
So, let me ask you something. Have you ever actually noticed that your mind simply never stops speaking? Like, ever? You're eating dinner, but you're thinking about work. You're at work, but you're replaying some old argument you had 3 years ago, or you're stressing out about the upcoming weekend. The source material actually describes this as the thinking disease. It's kind of like our brains are a car with a stuck accelerator, just constantly racing, and we've completely forgotten where the brakes are. This relentless mental sprinting back and forth between what happened yesterday and what might happen tomorrow, well, it's the exact root cause of so much of our daily anxiety and depression. Basically, we're entirely rejecting the present moment.
All right, let's jump right into section 1, the constant inner dialogue, the thinking disease.
Which brings us to section 2. You are not your mind, separating the observer from the thinker.
Okay, to take our power back from all this noise, we need a massive perspective shift. We all make this fundamental mistake, right? We believe that we are our minds, but the mind is really just a tool. It's an instrument. To fix this, we have to become the watcher. First, you just acknowledge the thought. Second, mentally take a step back. And third, simply observe the thinker. The whole goal here is to realize that when a super negative thought pops into your head, you aren't that thought. No way. You are the entity witnessing that thought. So when anger or worry flares up, instead of becoming the anger, you just step back and say, look at that, my mind is feeling angry right now. By observing it without any judgment, you literally instantly strip it of its power over you.
Moving to section 3, the illusion of time, why past and future do not exist. Now I want you to imagine that chaotic street market we talked about earlier just slowly melting away into a calm, continuous, beautifully flowing river.
Let's really consider the nature of time for a minute. What actually is the past? Think about it. It is merely a memory trace saved in your mind. When you remember the past, you're doing it right now, in the present. And the future? Well, that's just anticipation, maybe a fear or a hope. And when the future finally does arrive, it arrives as the present moment. So the absolute crucial takeaway here is that neither the past nor the future truly exist in objective reality. They don't. They are entirely mental constructs.
Life is only now. Everything that has ever happened in the now. Just let that sink in for a second. For anyone out there, and I know there's a lot of us, who feels constantly stressed, always chasing that next big milestone, this is such a beautiful grounding truth. The present moment, this exact second as you are listening to my voice, is quite literally the only thing you ever actually possess.
All right, section 4. Dissolving the pain body, breaking the cycle of trauma. Imagine a warm, golden hour of sunlight just gently washing over a shadowed, dark landscape. That's kind of what it feels like when we illuminate where our inner pain truly comes from.
Here's a wild equation for you. Suffering is simply reality minus acceptance. Sure, we all face physical pain sometimes, like touching a hot stove, right? But psychological pain, that is entirely self-created. Think about being stuck in gridlock traffic. Laying on the horn and gripping the steering wheel until your knuckles turn white, that's not going to make the cars move any faster. The anxiety you're feeling isn't actually caused by the traffic itself. It's caused by your mind completely resisting the reality of the present moment.
So why do we resist so much? Well, we have to look at the ego. The ego is basically this fake identity we carry around that draws all its value from the past and desperately seeks its satisfaction in the future. The ego absolutely hates the present. It constantly rejects it. It whispers things to you like, hey, once I get that promotion or, that new house or make X amount of money, then I'll finally be happy. It completely traps you in this perpetual, exhausting cycle of waiting for a future that honestly never truly satisfies.
And this egoic obsession? It builds up what the source material calls the pain body. This is the silent accumulation of your past traumas, your old emotional hurts, and all those buried resentments. It literally just lives inside you, dormant, sleeping, just waiting for the perfect moment to wake up and completely take over.
And man, when that takeover happens, it happens in a flash. First, boom, a trigger event occurs. Maybe someone criticizes your work or cuts you off in traffic. Instantly, that dormant pain body awakens. Your ego absolutely loves this kind of drama, by the way. It feeds on that sudden rush of negative energy. And the result? Overwhelming anxiety and anger. Suddenly, you aren't even reacting to the present moment anymore. You are completely possessed by an emotion, reacting to a hurt from your past.
But hey, there is a cure to all this, and it's beautifully summarized right here. Like light banishing darkness, awareness dissolves the pain body. The very second you feel that old anger rising in your chest, if you can just become that watcher we talked about earlier, you shine a massive spotlight on it. You observe the pain without judging it. And in the light of conscious awareness, the pain body simply cannot survive. It just begins to dissolve.
Let's move to Section 5, Portals to the Present, Practical Methods for the Now. Now, it's one thing to understand all this conceptually, but how do we actually apply it in the middle of, say, a super demanding corporate job or an insane college semester? Well, when your mind starts racing, try the body scan technique. It's so simple. Close your eyes, direct all your mental focus straight into your hands. Can you feel the subtle tingling, the warmth, that actual life force inside them? Now, move that focus down to your chest, and then your feet. By redirecting your energy away from your overthinking brain and down into your inner body, you automatically starve your mind of the energy it needs to create those anxious thoughts.
We can also use what are called everyday portals to the unmanifested. So the next time you're just standing there, waiting in a ridiculously long line at the grocery store, don't pull out your phone to scroll. Try practicing alert stillness. Feel your breath, observe the people around you without judging them. Listen for the actual silence that happens between words when people are speaking. Notice the vast, empty space between the objects in the room. Doing this transforms mundane, boring moments into these deeply peaceful, meditative experiences. Like watching raindrops gently fall on green leaves. It just grounds you.
And this kind of presence, it totally transforms how we love, too. So often we treat our relationships as ego addictions. We project our own expectations onto our partner, and we're constantly trying to change them so we can feel better. But a spiritual partnership is rooted entirely in the now. It means absolute, unconditional acceptance of your partner, flaws, and the whole shebang without any judgment. When you finally stop fighting reality, all that toxic drama just disappears.
Which brings us to the ultimate practice, right? Surrender. Now, surrender gets a bad rap. It's frequently misunderstood as weakness or lethargy or just giving up, but the source material redefines it completely. Surrender is simply ending the mental fight against the reality of the present moment. Look, if you fall and get stuck in the mud, sitting there crying about why you're in the mud doesn't help you get out. Surrendering just means accepting, okay, yep, I am in the mud right now. Once your mind is calm and accepts the reality of the situation, then you can intelligently find a way out.
Finally, Section 6, a serene invitation. Witness the current moment.
As we draw this explainer to a close, let's bring our focus entirely inward, away from the chaos of the market, and just settling into the perfect, unbothered silence of the present. Carry these truths with you today. You are not your thoughts. You are the observer of them. Time is literally an illusion. The past and future are simply mental constructs. Surrender your resistance to what is. And whenever the noise gets a little too loud, just return your focus to living within your inner body. Honestly, practicing this for just 5 to 10 minutes a day can begin to permanently banish stress from your life.
Think about this. If life is not a problem to be solved, but a reality to be experienced, are you truly living in the now? Take a deep breath. Feel the absolute stillness of this exact second, and simply be here.